Good afternoon, everybody. Anybody not ready? Yeah. All right, I'm Pinellas County Sheriff Bob Gualtieri, and with me is Chief Anthony Holloway from the St. Petersburg Police Department. And I think, as everybody knows, to address the significant number of auto thefts and related crime, the St. Petersburg Police Department and the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office have formed an auto theft task force. The task force was working early this morning in St. Petersburg, and at approximately 3:10 a.m., a St. Petersburg officer observed a 1998 Ford Windstar van driving recklessly at the intersection of 22nd Avenue South and 16th Street. The vehicle was traveling at a high rate of speed and at one point even went up on two wheels as it was traveling down the street. The tag on that van showed the name of the registered owner, but did not provide any vehicle information, which is highly unusual. And it can mean a number of different things, but the officers and deputies weren't able to determine if that tag belonged on that vehicle. And the vehicle matched the description of a stolen vehicle that the task force had been alerted to and was looking for in the area. The officer lost sight of the vehicle. It was found a few minutes later at the Obama Food Mart located at 1400 18th Avenue South. Officers decided not to try and stop the car at the Food Mart due to heavy foot traffic in the area. Shortly after that, the car left the area and went to 1414 20th Avenue South, which would be just south of where the Obama Food Mart is located, where it parked on the south side of the street facing the wrong way. The driver was observed talking with someone who was standing on the side of the road on the south side of the street. At that point, a St. Petersburg police officer in a marked patrol car attempted to conduct a traffic stop. The officer activated his emergency equipment, and immediately upon seeing the cruiser's emergency lights, the driver of the car, who's now been identified as Corey Leon Williams, accelerated in reverse and rammed an unmarked police car that was behind the Windstar van. There was a passenger in the car, in the Windstar van, who's now been identified as Alton Fitzgerald Wichard. In that unmarked car, there were two officers, and an officer who was a passenger in the unmarked car received minor injuries when his head hit the side pillar due to the impact. After striking the unmarked police car, Williams accelerated forward, driving off the roadway. He was already on the south side of the road. He went up onto the sidewalk and into kind of a dirt lot that's on the south side of the road, and then went back onto the roadway and struck the front end of the marked police car before accelerating and fleeing west on 20th Avenue South. The Pinellas County Sheriff's Office helicopter was overhead and followed the car as it traveled westbound, fleeing from police officers and sheriff's deputies. A Sheriff's Office unmarked car driven by Corporal Jonathan Cleary observed the car on 22nd Avenue South, just east of 22nd Street. And another Sheriff's unmarked car driven by Deputy Yariel Mata was behind Corporal Cleary. Williams then turned north on 22nd Street and immediately west in an alley just south of 21st Avenue South. The car slowed upon entering the alley, and Wichard, who was a passenger in the car, immediately exited the vehicle and was observed carrying an AR-15 assault rifle. Williams, the driver, continued to flee westbound in the vehicle, and he was followed by Corporal Cleary, and Deputy Mata pursued Wichard as Wichard ran north on the east side of the residence located at 2220 21st Avenue South. Deputy Megan Nestor was also in the car with Deputy Mata. Deputy Mata was yelling at Wichard to drop the gun and repeated that command several times as Wichard was running north along the east side of the residence. As they rounded the north side of the house, Deputy Mata again yelled for Wichard to drop the gun, at which time Wichard turned with the rifle toward Deputy Mata. Deputy Mata feared that he was going to be shot, and he fired his handgun approximately 5 times, striking Wichard twice and in his torso, and also there was one round that grazed his hand. Wichard fell to the ground on top of the assault rifle. Deputies and officers secured the rifle, immediately rendered CPR and other medical aid. The St. Petersburg Fire Rescue responded and transported Wichard to Bayfront Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead. Wichard's next of kin have been notified. Williams, who was the driver of the vehicle that fled, was stopped and arrested near his house at 2247 23rd Avenue South. Williams is in custody, and he's been charged with aggravated battery, felony fleeing and eluding, and driving with a suspended or revoked driver's license. Wichard was 37 years old and has an extensive criminal history with 18 prior arrests on 33 different charges dating back to 1996. Wichard's prior arrests include being a felon in possession of a firearm, carrying a concealed firearm, cocaine possession, fleeing and eluding, resisting an officer, aggravated battery, escape, failure to appear, and violation of probation. At the time he was shot by Deputy Mata, Wichard had $4,000 in cash as well as marijuana in his pockets. The vehicle has been impounded, and we're waiting a search warrant. We don't know whether there are any other drugs or contraband in the car. Williams is 31 years old. He also has a criminal history, having been arrested in Florida for disorderly intoxication and failure to appear for driving with a suspended license, and in Virginia for possession of a firearm while possessing illegal drugs, drug conspiracy, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and assault and battery. The AR-15 rifle was loaded with 17 .223 caliber rounds, and the switch on the AR-15 was in the fire position. This is an extremely powerful weapon that would have pierced the body armor by the deputies. We're conducting a trace on the gun. As of now, we do not know whether it is stolen or how Wichard obtained the gun. Deputy Mata has been with the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office for 4 years. He has no prior shootings, and he'll be placed on administrative leave with pay until cleared to return to duty. The shooting investigation is being conducted according to normal protocol by the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, Robbery Homicide Unit, and the Pinellas Pasco State Attorney's Office is conducting its own independent investigation. As you can see here from the photographs of Wichard and the firearm that he was carrying, this is the actual AR-15 assault rifle as it laid on the ground, on the grass. He fell on top of it after he was shot. These are the .223 rounds that came out of the magazine of the gun. And you can see over here that this is the area where this started. And the officer first saw the car here at 16th and 22nd. The car then went up to the area where the Obama Food Mart is here, number 2 on this map. Number 3 down here is where the ramming occurred. And then, of course, the incident where the shooting occurred was over here on 21st Avenue South, number 4. So it was all in this area of South St. Petersburg. And when the car, after ramming the St. Petersburg police cars, it fled, and it was kind of a zigzag pattern all the way to get over here to that alley. And this is the east side of the house that I was talking to you about, where south of this is the alley. And as Wichard ran north, he came around here, and Deputy Mata was rounding here in his vehicle. Deputy Mata's vehicle stopped here, and Wichard was here when he turned the assault rifle to him. So the actual shooting occurred right here on the corner of this house. So with that, I'll turn it over to Chief Holloway for anything that he wants to add, and then we're happy to take any questions that you all may have. Chief?
Good afternoon, everyone. Just to let you know, St. Petersburg Police Department, the Sheriff's Office has been working on the auto theft task force to reduce the auto theft that have been occurring, not only just in St. Pete, but throughout the Tampa Bay area. We will continue to work with each other, and that's all we have to say. Thank you.
Anybody have any questions?
This doesn't seem like the typical situation where, you're talking about teens. That's been the scenario in the past where we're talking about, 16, 17-year-olds.
Right.
I mean, you're talking about adults here.
Right, and what we have said is, Chip, that this is a problem that has been prolific, if you will, epidemic. It is primarily involved young people, but not solely. And it just goes to show that it is widespread. Wichert is 37 years old, but it isn't limited to any one group or any one area or any one demographic. It is a widespread problem. And this just goes to show the breadth of it everywhere. It involves a bunch of different people. So, no, it isn't what we saw a few weeks ago, but this is consistent with what we are seeing with the overall problem throughout the entire county. So we are seeing some of this, but it isn't the juveniles in this particular case. So.
Do you think the task force is making a difference?
No, I don't think there's any question the task force is making a difference. I think the partnership between the St. Petersburg Police Department, the Sheriff's Office is very effective and is making a difference. Deterring these people from engaging in this activity and apprehending those who are engaged in it. And the task force is very active. And there are several times a night where they're engaging in enforcement activity and recovering stolen cars. And we're going to continue it and address this type of activity throughout Pinellas County and hopefully eliminate it the best we can.
And if these guys are ramming patrol cars, what else are they capable of?
Well, and as I said before, and I think that it's a sad situation where people don't respect law enforcement, and I think we're seeing that, and they don't have any regard for safety of anybody, including police officers, and it's a disrespect issue. It's a lack of respect. It's a lack of fear of consequences. I mean, look at this guy. He's arrested, on 18 different times on 30-something charges. He's been in the criminal justice system before. He's not new to it, and he didn't think twice about ramming not just one, but hitting a second police car, running from the police. They're driving out there recklessly up on two wheels, and then when they go down an alley and they're running from the police, is that he turns this very, very powerful assault rifle with 17 rounds and a .223 rounds that are lethal rounds, and didn't think twice about turning that on a police officer. So again, people like this who are criminals don't have any regard for safety or for the police.
You said that Wichert was found with a large amount of cash and drugs on his person. Did you find any of that in the vehicle or on Williams?
No, and again, Williams didn't have anything on him, but we have not been able to search the car yet. He will not give us consent, so we're going to have to obtain a search warrant. So we don't know what may or may not additionally be in that car. So that's all still part of this, as always is the case. And we're trying to give you as much information as we know it as quickly as we can. But it's all still fluid. It is still all under investigation. And there are still, in fact, interviews occurring as we speak and investigative leads that are being followed up. That's certainly something that we'll do, and if we find anything of significance, we'll let you know. So what we know right now is he had $4,000 in cash and a little bit of drugs on his person.
How long do you think that will be until we can obtain that search warrant?
I would hope by the end of the day today or sometime tonight, I would hope. At the latest, it should be tomorrow, but we're working on it.
These rounds, they have been fired this closely to these homes. Would the people inside potentially be at risk as well?
Well, with those kind of rounds, everybody's at risk. It would penetrate cars, it would penetrate bulletproof vests, body-resistant armor. That would go through homes. That go through just about anything. It's a very powerful weapon, a dangerous weapon when it's in the hands of somebody who is a criminal, who has no regard for anybody's safety and no regard for the police. So this could have been a very, very bad day and a very bad situation, no question about it. We're just very thankful that nobody, and including no law enforcement officers, were hurt or killed as a result of Wichert's actions.
These kind of weapons, you have to have special permits to obtain, correct? Is Wichert?
No, because this one, the best we can tell with this, and we won't know until it's dismantled, is semi-automatic. It's not fully automatic. And so They're out there, and, and the reality of it is this guy's a convicted felon. He can't possess firearms anyway. It doesn't matter to him. And and while I can't tell you definitively, because we don't know, because we're going to trace it back and see what we can find out, is that I'm confident it's stolen and was taken in some burglary or some theft somewhere, and that's what we're going to trace it back to. So, these are not the kind of people that abide by any laws or any gun laws, and they, steal the guns and then use them for criminal activity, and that's what happens. All right, anybody have anything else you want to ask? Okay, all right, thanks. Yeah, it's Y-A-R-I-E-L, Uriel, Mata, M-A-T-A. Pardon me? Y-A-R-I-E-L, Uriel, Mata, M-A-T-A.